I'll leave anything I mention in the description. But on to the itinerary. Day 1, we kicked off with Osaka Castle. How could we not? It is the most beautiful castle I've ever seen. Pure white with a stunning moat and wall and gardens and grounds. So we actually explored the Nishinomaru Garden and found this sneaky spot with a good view away from all the people. And we did also go inside the castle and explored all the different floors and learned about the history and got a view from the top as well. Then we went to Aijinoya for lunch and we did queue here for an hour and a half. But I will say, the longer the queue in Japan, the more phenomenal the food. There's definitely a correlation. So we had the okonomiyaki and the yakisoba, both 1000 out of 10, and we were on the counter seats, so we got to see the chefs make it right in front of us, which is always really special. And then we headed up the Umeda Sky Building for sunset, and we saw an incredible sunset. It went on forever, and I've never seen a sunset that red. And took in the Osaka skyline. And then we went to Dotonburi, which is the main area, or the most famous area, where we saw the Glico running man and got a few selfies with him. But for dinner we decided we wanted to try some street food, as Osaka is the foodie city of Japan. So we opted for some Kobe beef sushi. I'd never tried Kobe beef, and they gave us 3 different types, and each one just got better and better and better. And I also picked up this sweet treat, this little macaron, which tasted of shortcake and was in the shape of a bunny, because why not? And then we went to Shinsaibashi for shopping, window shopping. Neither of us are big shoppers, but it was fun to explore. And we also mooched around Namba, which is where our hotel was, before heading to Shinsekai, which is a really cool district. It has lots of arcades and games and little shops and stalls, and its most iconic landmark is the Tsutenkatu Tower. So day 2, also sadly our final day, we went to Universal Studios Japan. Now, the most important piece of advice I would give here is make sure you pre-book your tickets well in advance, and also consider getting fast track. Now, I booked ours a week in advance, and most of the days were sold out for standard tickets, and they were all sold out for fast track tickets. So we managed to get a day we could go, but we couldn't get fast track, so we did a lot of waiting. It was fine, we still did all the rides we wanted to do, it is doable, but obviously I would say it's definitely worth paying the extra for the speedy. So, the first place we headed was Harry Potter World, and we explored Hogsmeade, felt like you were playing Quidditch and being chased by Dementors and being battered by the Whomping Willow all at the same time. Next up, we went to Amity Island for the Jaws boat ride, which was hilarious because I didn't realise the premise of this was that they act out a scene from the movie, but obviously it's all in Japanese, so we had no idea what was going on. But luckily, we've both seen the film 100 times, so we got the gist. And yeah, it's really, really cool. The effects are insane, and just like when I was 5 years old, the shark scared the bejesus out of me. And then afterwards we got these really inappropriate looking hot dogs. Next up we went to Jurassic World, and the Jurassic Park ride was actually closed, so we opted for the Flying Dinosaur, which originally I thought sounded like a kid's ride. No. And I don't know what came over us, because once we got there, it was evident that this was not a kid's ride. Neither of us like rides, neither of us like the feeling of falling, etc. But we just went for it. I think we were on such an adrenaline rush and such a high from the trip, we just went for it. We queued about an hour and a half, and as we got closer and closer, it was dawning on us how scary this ride was. For anyone who doesn't know, this ride, you sit down and you're strapped in, and then it will tilt you so that you are flying. Not only does it do this, but the ride then proceeds to go upside down, spin, drop, you name it. Which is bad enough when you're sat upright, let alone lying horizontal. And as we sat down, got strapped in, and they tilted us forward, we just exchanged looks with each other, didn't say a word, but we both knew we had made a terrible mistake. And then the ride took off. I immediately closed my eyes. My boyfriend somehow kept his open. And what proceeded was the worst 2 minutes of my life. The G-force of being flipped upside down whilst you're lying down, backwards. Oh, my neck, I was just being thrown about like a rag doll. In fact, the drops weren't even the worst part, it was being hurtled backwards. And once we finished and we pulled back up, we were still horizontal for a while, and I was just hysterically laughing. I couldn't help it, and my boyfriend was in tears. We had to take a minute after that to zen, but we had to get the photo because no one would believe that we did this otherwise. And then we stumbled across the parade, which was really sweet. They basically get lots of different characters, like the Pokemon Pikachu, the Minions, Sing, all sorts, and they parade through the park with lots of live music. And then we went to the Spider-Man ride, which is an old school 3D ride where they make you put on glasses. I think it's closing Rockstar Pizza